folks, welcome to this week's version of Spreading the Baseball News with Larry. First of all, some good news here in the States. Major League Baseball and the Players Association have reached an agreement whereby we'll have a 60-game season this year. Of course, that's all dependent upon what happens with the virus, but that is certainly some good news. I believe the season will commence sometime in the latter part, end of July. There will be some rule changes for this year. Remains to be seen whether those rule changes will become permanent. There will be spring training will resume shortly. However, if it hasn't resumed already, I think instead of, however, in the traditional spring training sites of Florida and Arizona, the teams will be having their spring training in their home cities. So, for instance, here in New York, the Yankees and Mets will be resuming spring training at Yankee Stadium and Citi Field, respectively. As far as attendance at the games, I believe it's Major League Baseball's intention, at least initially, to follow the example of Taiwan and other places where the games are played without fans in the stands, and then see how things evolve. So that's some good news. Speaking of fans in the stands, I see that attendance is, for games in Taiwan is approaching 9,000 people, so that's really great news for Taiwan. Shows how effective Taiwan has been in dealing with the issue of the virus, so that's some great news. Interesting, just a little bit of humor. Last week when I was watching a game between the Rakuten Monkeys and the Uni-Lions, I noticed at one point there were, I think, 8 players with the surname Lin in the game. Last weekend, a game between Uni-Lions and Fubon Guardians, I think including the pitcher, there were in the game, or had been in the game, a total of 7 Lins. And I think it just underscores what a lot of my Taiwanese friends have told me, that Lin is an extremely popular surname in Taiwan. Speaking of Lins, one Lin that I focused on in an earlier talk was the infielder for the Monkeys, Lin Lee, a young player, excellent player. I think he's leading the league in hitting. So today I want to talk about a couple players on the Uni-Lions. Another Lin would be Lin An-Ko, who is really another excellent offensive player. Last weekend, I think last Friday, he had a game with a couple home runs. Then I think last Sunday, he was 5 for 5 or 5 for 6 with half a dozen RBIs. And then today, had another fantastic game where, again, I think he was 5 for 6 or 6 for 7, a couple home runs, I think another half a dozen ribbies, just 1 strikeout. So Lin An-Ko is an excellent hitter. Just for my American friends, he wears number 77, and he plays right field. One thing about Lin An-Ko I'd be curious about is his stats, left-handed pitching versus right-handed pitching, which he presumably hits better against righties, although there are some lefties that do thrive against lefties. So excellent offensive player, young, I like young players. As far as defensively, as I said, he is a right fielder. A little bit question from my perspective of whether he has a right fielder's arm. Traditionally, right fielders have a cannon or a rifle of an arm. I'm not sure that he's got that great arm, which would be to those throws from the right field corner home, or more importantly, those throws from right field to third base when there's a runner on first base and there's a single into right. You want to be able to cut down those runners from going first to third. You want to keep them just going first to second. And he might be, because of his arm, might be more suitable for left field than for right field. But he's young and again, 23 years old. I think he's got a lot of potential. Another player on Uni-Lions, a bit older, I think he's about 26, is number 32, Chih-Chieh, more of a first baseman, DH. I think at this point, Su is leading the league in home runs. Got a decent on-base percentage. I think his on-base is over 400, and shows that he can hit. One thing I've noticed, I think that he is susceptible to pitchers to throw a lot of off-speed, a lot of junk, and I think he probably sits on fastballs a little bit, but certainly is a bit older, but another player I think that is certainly in Taiwan a really professional hitter. So those are sort of my comments for this week. I think next week I'll focus a couple of players on the Fubon Guardians, talk about them a little bit. So thanks you all for watching. Hope to see you next week. 谢谢大家收看。你们有什么看法，请你留言。下个星期见。